Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful night. I'm just chilling with Dracula and watching some Harry Potter before I go to bed. A little sleepy. So I just wanted to get on here for a little bit and talk to people for a little bit. Um, I just wanted to, I wouldn't necessarily call it the other side, but I just wanted to let the other fishy swim for a little bit. So, throughout this journey, I see a lot of people doing and saying certain things. And a lot of times when I get excited and I try to communicate with people and they see me responding a certain way, or almost as if people would be like, you have wisdom. Why do you egg them on? Or why do you chase after them? Or why do you do certain things? It's almost ironic because then they'll go read scriptures that say, I am long bearing, I am merciful, I am this and that, all these different things. And so ultimately, when I look at this book or the Bible, certain times I look at it as almost like protection. And when I say protection, I don't mean from people, because people are going to do what they do. A lot of times they're committed in their ways, so they don't like to hear what I'm saying. But what I mean is, it's protection spiritually, because oftentimes, what people do is they do ask what gives authority, or what they'll ask, why can you do this and that? And I'll be like, you guys will say out of your own mouths that the word of God is infallible. And then when I do things from it, y'all will say like, oh, well, it's out of context. Everything is out of context. The only way to take that book in context is in one sitting, say the whole thing out of your mouth at the same time. So no matter what you do, it's out of context. People will use a whole bunch of scriptures from Isaiah talking about the coming Messiah, and then they'll tell others they're taking that book out of context. Like, I don't. So basically, what I'm saying is, I am that which draws from the rivers. I am the breath of life. I am the living waters. I am the loaf. So let me say it in a way that's, I am, which loaf is better than I am? Who is like I am? I am, who is drawing out of the rivers like I am? Who is bringing down the fires that don't consume like I am? Who is the spirit that hovers like I am? Who is the ark that floats above the waters like I am? You know what I mean? Anybody that's been following along with me can clearly understand what I mean. Because you'll have people that then go and profess the name like I am, who I am, or Yahweh, but they still won't take that final step. You know what I mean? Because ultimately what they are saying is that the Most High is on the inside. So what that really means is we all are the kings. And I don't want to just say kings anymore and queens, because as I told y'all before, people in certain books try to take people's voices away. First of all, even if a book was going to say a woman, don't permit a woman to speak, so then you could go even deeper, because I don't feel that way. Why would I not permit a woman to speak? So then if you go even further, they're not talking about, I don't think, actual women. So this is coming from who I am. When I look at the dead letter and see that, I think it's talking about the woman as in the flesh of the prophet. And so if I see a bunch of people talking on Peter's behalf, they'll be like, Peter said or Paul said. And then in that same book, it'll say, don't permit a woman to speak. Basically, what y'all doing is y'all not talking from the heart. Y'all taking Peter directly and then throwing his name out there in the street. Because for a better example, if I was to say a day is but 1,000 years to who I am. And so then people could look at me and be like, you just Peter. No, I just said something. Y'all know it was written in Peter, so I don't have to say Peter's name. And even if Peter's name is there, how do y'all talk about a man being crucified and being a sacrifice? But then when I use, remember this was paid for a ransom. So then I use these men words, and I don't think people perceive what that's supposed to mean. I tell people all the time when I give videos and when I give this and that, that's for the kings, all of y'all. So then back to the point, I am I am is the King of Kings, and who I am is man. But if a woman was speaking, she would say, I am the King of Kings, and then she would say, who I am is woman. That's how it worked. When it says the king comes from the tabernacle, it's talking about from the heart, or the heaven of heavens. Because if you pay attention to John, it says the heaven of heavens and the heavens. That's the brain and the heart. Actually, I was doing some research, and you guys can look this up. I found out that the heart has its own neural network. So literally the heart does think. The heart does send out signals, and that's incredible to me. Because then we learning that the body is more complex than what we thought from what our forefathers, and we can go and write even more advanced poetry. So then I can write a poem real quick. Watch this. The brain began thinking, sending signals, but the heart got mixed and wanted to mingle. At first I thought up here it was single, but then part two came, and then another jingle. So then I listened to both. But please understand, I don't want to create too many voices within man. I'm just saying I used to calculate data and think that was it, until I realized there was another passenger on this shit. The reason I get sad and can't fully calculate, the reason I don't fully go to the side of hate, because there's two aspects, and I just learned that in this day. I don't mean tonight, but try to come along and enjoy the hay. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes I like to be playing, and that can mix up a lot, and then people can grab like a lot. Sometimes when I get serious and others don't respect that and I get furious, but then I remember I'm a trickster and like to joke and play. So how can I get upset when it comes back around when other people have things to say? Because part two, because the brain only calculates. Or perhaps this is the one that conjures up all the hate. But then I remember a house is a house. But sometimes I think of another's and get trapped like a mouse by something that's not even from who I am, something from another spouse. And then I remember I should take off that blouse. I could read Zechariah and put another garment on my house. But then I could think, how about something new? How about leaving that foolish chosen seed, chosen line, foolishness they called you? Don't think I rebuke or hate, although certain lines make me want to take off some of these needles of those carnivorous pines. There are certain scriptures that say I should just rip off the whole vine, but I'd rather not step into another person's religion and tear up their whole mind. I think that's kind of same as cooking a goat in its mother's milk. Or you could probably call that like cracking open the egg and tearing apart the yolk. Or perhaps I could think about people who put the noose around the yolk, but I'd rather not play around with that. That's not a fucking joke. See, it could cause me to curse and then cause anger to arise. And then I could fuck around and go into the grease like fries. You know, I'd rather not play around with that shit either. Because come to my surprise, William Tyndale said he'd rather be burned than lose the Old Testament. And then it happened before his eyes. You know, I don't like to speak on certain things. The fifth seal leaves me sore. That's because of the heart. So then the brain tries to endure. Then I want to give rise and desires to remove the kings of these empires. So then I step up to the plate and talk to the empire. And when I hit a home run and it goes into the sky, when it comes back down, it comes down as a fireball before you and I. Don't think of any pain. That's for something else. For that Babylonian ship and those Egyptians that try to steal our wealth. See, I love my forefathers, but they did something fucked up. So I'm finna come back like 7-Up. I might be fizzing, but the bottle won't explode. I'd rather not fuck up the frontal lobe. Now, let me tell y'all something about way back. It's about a couple of gold diamonds and a couple of stacks. I just like to keep it real, so I come with a stack. Nah, let's bring it right back. Call it coming to the future or the time at hand. Lest I fuck around and burn up the land. I'm just trying to reform Sodom before y'all get to the bottom. Because then y'all fuck around and pull out the prize and then lose sight of who I am right before the eyes. And so he with an ear understand, because I'd rather not leave confusion between the man. I'd rather be a light and possibly a guide, kind of like that light in the lighthouse for others that lied. And truth is subjective depending on who it is. So I'd rather not mess around. I told y'all I'm just the son of Liz. But don't forget about Senior, whose name I take, lest I mess around and tear apart the family dynamic and leave the soul to forsake. So, that's mind and heart coming together to give rise to something beautiful. Maybe something for the youth when they're older, because I'd rather not kids be watching me, because I'd rather them learn for their parents. And then if, once they become older, they can learn from the heart and the mind and the body, soul, all different words to just basically say who you are, who I am. I'm not you. I'd rather not, you know what I mean? If you do. But, it's basically about the kingdom of the heart and protecting the mind. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times that's why the mind is enshrouded with the cloud, because, just like in the days of Babylon with that tower, if too much is built up, we could become sour. And then we could be working by Nimrod's hour. And then we could be fuck around and get devoured and lose all our true power. And then be carrying bricks for no reason. And then saying, I hope our flight isn't in the winter season. You know what I mean? Just, you gotta be careful with certain things in life. Actually, you don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? But who I am likes to be careful and stay on solid ground, because you'd be surprised what you find in the lost and found. But yeah, so really what I like to exemplify is I am that which is, and who I am needs to eat. So when I sit down and open these books and take a seat, I need to be like Daniel and be careful of the feast and be careful of Cain and that type of murderous yeast, all type of algorithms and lines of code that can subtly enter the abode. So be careful and learn and be aware and watch out for deceit, because I'm telling you, you don't need those types of receipts. The things you purchase from Babylon can leave you sore. And so I'd rather you stay on a certain side of the store. Or actually, I'd rather you leave and go build your own house so you don't get trapped in their traps and be caught like a mouse. 10 Commandments and as I am, who I am, whatever, all that extra stuff. I usually leave them at the end of my videos to try to help people, because a lot of times the word, they get inside and they help. Because lo and behold, in a time where you're afraid or something, if you have a guide or angel or somebody there that's with you, holding your hand, it makes something a lot easier. So when I say that, I'm not saying they your God. Like I told y'all before, I ain't on none of that. But at the same time, live your life. Disclaimer, I do not advocate for marijuana, but in the state of Illinois, it's legal. And I turn off the stuff for kids. It's on adults only, I think, not for kids viewing. And then not only that, I do not advocate for cigarettes. They can be dangerous. And the types of chemicals that they put in them that I've been made aware of are extremely dangerous for human consumption. And we don't need cigarettes to live anyway. So I know a lot of people already smoke them. That's why I don't condemn them. You know what I mean? I might smoke one while I'm over here, because I'm not doing that for like camera and views and to advertise for them. I do that because I smoke. And as I've told people before, I don't want people to try to find me or see me in real life and be like, oh, he's smoking or he doesn't. I put who I am on this camera so people aren't confused and deceived. So they don't see me acting all holy. Like real talk, I think one time I gave TD Jakes a shout out, man. And the reason I did that is because some of his sermons, they build me up. Like, I'm not looking at him as a sense like, oh, he's a liar, or he's a truth nut. It's his character. But when I listen to him over time, he sounds like I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I don't want to say he's I don't even know how to explain it, dude. I guess when you get that feeling, you get that feeling, and I can't judge him. I mean, I could do whatever I want because it's my life, but I'm not saying don't go attack TD Jakes, sir. But it's like a real eerie feeling. Like, especially after I seen his mansion. Because when I first listened to him, I was just listening to him talk. But then I seen his security in his mansion and heard that he charges 60,000 to go talk to people and stuff and all. It's like, oh my goodness, boy, you was a pimp. He sound like a fucking creep. He sound like a pet, like I'm a kid with a sack full of money. And he's like, yeah, child, come on, yeah, come into this church, boy. Come on, yeah, let me get that money. And see, I didn't make that no type of sexual, nothing like that. I ain't on that. I'm not trying to flame the man because he married and he seemed respectful. I'm just saying, like, dude, you seem like I can't even really explain it. It's like a feeling. Like, if it was anything outside of religion, I wouldn't have a problem with the dude if he was living his life, whatever. But when he started preaching and got that book and it's just something about him that just gives me an unsettling feeling. Like I said, if we was in the community, science, whatever, we was washing a car or at a library, whatever. But you in religion, dude, I just can't explain it. But everybody got their own. Say, who the fuck am I? You same way you can tell me to fuck off, I can tell you to, whatever. It's just the feeling I get. Telling y'all. And then that one guy was talking about what's his name? Jennings. He seemed legit, man. He just, bro, you kind of wound up. And I understand everybody got their fire. Who the fuck am I to tell you what to do with that whole hell shit, dude? I'm telling you what you're putting into your subconscious. But he probably wouldn't even listen. I don't know. I don't know the dude. I can't judge him. But they will call the son of man. They'll say they'll call the son of man a drunkard and then see me smoking marijuana, which is a lot safer than a lot of other stuff, and probably lose their mind. You know, that judge I used to watch all the time, his name was I think his name was Mathis or something like that. He's from the city or Detroit or something. Man, that dude was hilarious. Everybody that came on his show, he called a crackhead. this this one time, this lady was like, "Yeah, I smoke marijuana." She's like, "I got a job and I do this." She's just, not that it makes any different. Weed is weed. So if you smoke, whether you got a job or don't, you ain't no more just whatever. So she was like, "Yes, I blah 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 blah, and I smoke a little marijuana." So then the judge was like, "Oh, you smoke a little crack, huh? You learning that shit?" I was like, "God damn, crack, bro! How you go from?" Okay, everybody got their own thing, but I like him. See, like, to me in life, when we take the pain and the fear and a lot of stuff out of life, it can be more bearable. It can be, and then I can learn to find what I love and enjoy. And he be calling everybody. Don't tell that judge you just smoked or did nothing like that before. You tell him you smoking a cigarette, he be like, "Oh, that's the gateway to crack." I be like, "God, nigga, the gateway to crack." But that is true sometimes. Sometimes people start small and they get higher. So don't let me get on here mocking stuff and not telling the truth, just like cigarettes. Um, Cigarettes, weed, that stuff can lead to more dangerous stuff if who I am is not diligent and careful and protecting of who I am. And so that's why I try to tell y'all, as funny as I can be, sometimes I'm serious. I don't like to fuck around. So yes, I can joke around like the dare officer and be like, "The dare officer said people was going to offer me drugs and you know how expensive this shit is. Don't offer me weed." Every time I come up, they be like, "Man, this is my weed. You ain't put in." But at the same time, people will sometimes offer you drugs and stuff. So it's who I am's job to say that's not for who I am. Or, I'm not your most high, so don't let me program you. But at the same time, I am the warning. Because you try putting a fish hook into the spirit of cigarettes after you have smoked for a long time and let me know. So am I saying the spirit of cigarettes is stronger than me? Don't make me bring out the fire. What I am basically saying is nothing, because people who don't smoke cigarettes get cancer and all type of crazy shit. See, it's all about just living life and enjoying it. I'm telling you, because stuff I've seen, I understand why a lot of these people are questioning and like philosophers in the early wisdom and stuff. Like don't get me wrong, there was something beautiful. I said Dan McClellan was like a Yehohanian, a apostle of John, because he's like a scholar. And then I said, which is also like Greece, basically. I mean, I don't want to call it Greece, though. He's a scholar and doing his own thing. And then he was on there with, I think his name is Aaron Ra. I think that's what his name is. And I call him the Atenisms or the I ams because they're atheist. He's atheist or whatever. And so I said a Joshua and a Joshua and a John the Baptist walked into the bar. But the point is, the bigger picture was a Christian, or I don't even know if he's a Christian, but so I want to. He's like a scholar, but I'd say a Christian. A Christian and an atheist walked into a bar, but they're on a podcast, but I just say it like that. They walked into a bar and were talking with each other, and they were explaining why this other, I think she was a Christian or something, explaining why Aaron Ra was super wrong, and they came together and edified with each other, and they started learning with each other and talking. Now, the thing that allowed that is sweetness and kind, because I could just say the Holy Spirit, but that's a descriptive word. The sweetness and the kindness and the caring for each other and the like caring for humanity and each other. You know, I could look at Dan McClellan and I could call him more Christian than a lot of these other Bible thumping literalists. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter. He's being kind and loving and caring. Now you look at David Wood, it's like, goodness gracious, dude. But you look at Dan McClellan, and he's a lot nicer. He's a lot kinder when he does speak on people. He's not just saying God or the King Jesus. He's edifying every step of the way. So I might not agree with a lot of different things Dan say or Aaron Ra, but at the same time, Aaron Ra is a really cool dude. He has a lot of information, and he does give off a lot of good characteristics and stuff. Although sometimes he lights Christians up. We see, I'm smiling. I think that's funny sometimes, but at the same time, I don't like, because I'm telling you, when I hear people in religion talk, I'm not saying I'm any wiser than any of you or anything like that when I say this. I see a bigger picture. And like when people will be like, Jesus bore the cross or all this other stuff, that's simply saying somebody's bearing the name of something. And sometimes when the name is bore, like the difference is some of you guys will be like, why are you still doing this? Why are you in the wilderness? Why are you? And they'll go off and do their own thing and be free or just go live their life and be happy. I am doing this for a specific reason. I'm not telling you all to go be sacrifices. I am saying I am here to help people for a certain purpose. And so when I see like a lot of people super attacking other religions, even other Christians, like when I see atheists attacking Christians and other religions, when I see theologians or other stuff like that attacking, because you guys will see me attacking a book. You'll see me attacking the spirits of stuff. They're actually on these debates. Man, this dude from God Logic, it was either God Logic 2 or 1 or whichever one. They was debating a little baby Muslim. This boy was probably like 13 years old. And he's over in these Islamic countries and they get him to convert and teach about Jesus. You know what's going to happen to this boy. Ain't nothing but a boy. So first of all, the commandments say don't rip a child from their parents' house. You know good and well Jesus said that too. The orphans and the widowless and all this stuff. What are y'all doing? So then y'all turn them into orphans, because if their parents are going to reject them because their parents have a certain way, then what's going to happen? Who's going to heal the child or help the child? Deep in Islam. Right. I wouldn't even have no kids on my show like that. And if I do, it's because, I'm not even going to have no kids on my channel like that. And then if I do, we are on some, I'm not having them on my channel. I'm sending them, you know what? Somebody just subscribe to my channel. I think it's called Children's Logic or something like that. And the other day in one of my videos, I started saying ABCs, and that's perfect. I don't know if my subscribers can be seen, but it's a channel where kids, it's like doing the ABCs, the numbers, the noises of animals and all that stuff. And it's like, it's beautiful. I got that added in Khan Academy English. It's just, I like real information and knowledge that helps edify. And then like a lot of the spiritual stuff, I like to hear people's stories and stuff. But once they turn universal and start saying God and Jesus adding to it and stuff, it's like, ooh, because I can see certain things that are happening. But back to attacking people, like that little kid that was on camera. I'm like, man, why are y'all debating the kid? Because the reason this shit is pissing me off, because I clearly wanted to talk to this motherfucker on camera. And I waited 2 hours to talk to his ass. I'm on your ass, bro. And you muted me like, you asked me like 3 or 4 questions. Wouldn't even let me talk to the dude at the bottom. Radar, he seems pretty cool. I don't got no problem with him. He didn't say anything. But the 2 up top, I can't even find the dude to the left's channel. I don't even know if he has a channel. But ooh, God Logic, I got you. You and David Lynn. Y'all are on my radar. And I'm watching every word in all these chats. Didn't want to say nothing to me. Asked me if Jesus is the God Yahweh. Y'all don't even know what the boy. What the That's why dude at the bottom didn't talk, because he knew. I think he knew. Because he seemed very educated and well-knowledged. And he spoke on what I speak on a lot for like an hour and a half. But boy, then the dude to the left says, well, JB, we want to keep it true. Is Jesus Yahweh? Don't even know what Yahweh transliterates to. It's like the perfect comedy. It's funny. But I'm not here to scare you guys. I haven't felt it in my soul. Ooh, stop. I'm not here to scare people or anything like that. I'm just saying, y'all keep debating these children, these kids on camera about religion and then cutting off a real man. He didn't want to. He said, well, we want to kind of keep it true to the, and then he cut himself off. Keep it true to what? Your father, Noah, who y'all letting walk off the ark. Because they knew good and well what my speech was finna bring. I was finna tear that idol out their sky. They knew to cut me off. They want to debate a Muslim child. Shit crazy to me. But then what's even more ironic, even apologetics and all them, David Wood and all them, they don't want to debate me. None of them do. Because the irony is, with every word in the debate, he going to go up against his God King. Because I'm going to get on there and say the 10 Commandments, I am, woo, woo. And they going to say something fucking stupid. Immediately. Because here's why it's stupid. If they didn't confess a man as their God or king, they'd be confessing from the heart. And there'd be no blame. Because how can I blame nature? But if you throw in my face an idol or God, and then say the Bible is the infallible word of God, gotcha. You just walked into a matrix, the wrong one today. Told y'all, I am the King of Kings. I am the refinery. I am the one who sends to watch over the 3 or anybody else in the refinery. But yeah, I'm just trying to build you all up. So everything you hear, let it go inside and you start saying it. Monkey see, monkey do. Ape A, ape B, from Adam to JB. So, you know, I'm just trying to, and that's why I bring a lot of comedy. The reason I bring a lot of comedy and sarcasm and different stuff like that, because so then when holy men come to you and tell you you're going to burn in hell, you can laugh. You can be happy. I'm putting that stuff back in your temple. You can joke at them. Well, they say, I will mock them in their time of need. Then at the other side, it says, mockers and braggers, present yourself clean to the Christ. But I thought Jesus was Yahweh. Make up your mind. Because if you let them make up your mind, they're going to send you into stupidity. So I'm here for people to try to help them. Because Daniel said the scarlet and gold is going to be ripped off of them. All the prophets did. Y'all play with these poets' words, and then different things are erupted from it. But if who I am looks at this stuff and takes it for what I need, because I'm going to give you an example. I know about certain aspects in a science book, but I don't go read the entire science book at one time and say, I'm the God of science, because then I have to go read other science books, right? So if you're going to learn about the I am truly, and in terms of religion, wouldn't you have to read all these religious books? Is that something you truly want to do? Right. Because every man has an I am. They keep saying God wrote the Bible. No. The fire from the heart wrote a few things. And each time it has something to do with a 10, a 7, or a 3. Figure it out.
Forever is the strangest thing. It's shorter than you think. No think. basic of our sphere. The gift of life is never more or less. It starts at any time you like and ends in just a wink.